Good morning everyone, it's Bran here and welcome to this week's garden update, which will include, among other things, a look at a few budget and eco-friendly seed starting ideas. And I'm also going to show you a grass that I'm attempting to grow here, which I plan on harvesting to use as mulch. I had to start off today showing you this beautiful glass gem corn, which I picked during the week. Unlike the one I showed you last Friday, this one has a lot more colour going on. I especially like the baby pink and emerald green colours. I only just noticed this sunflower. It must have just opened this morning. It's called Solar Flash. One of the smaller varieties. It only gets up to about 50 centimetres or so. And beside this one I have more of this variety, but you can see there I'm still waiting for the flower to open. Solar Flash is a multi-flowering variety, so as well as having this one main bloom, you can see down here there are some smaller buds on either side which will produce beautiful flowers, still as stunning as the one that you can see here, but just not as large. And then there's this more compact variety called Lemon Bling. This flower opened a couple of days ago. There's actually a lot of new flowers to show you this week. Here's one that appeared on my cotton plant. There's this daylily and the first Ken's Gold dahlia. I can't believe that it's going to be autumn next week, and for some of you spring is only around the corner. It's seed sowing time for us gardeners around the world. Next week I'm going to go through what I will be sowing for the cooler months. I'll also share with you some of my favourite places to purchase seeds, and as well as that I'll share some other tips that I've learned over the years. But for the moment I want to show you this little setup that I have here, which is such a great example of how you don't need a lot of money to grow your own food. You don't necessarily need to have the best equipment out there to have the most beautiful garden of your dreams. Honestly, I believe if you have the passion, drive and patience, you can really achieve your gardening goals on a tight budget. So here, for example, this setup is very eco-friendly, low budget. I'm using toilet roll holders as the pots. The labels are made out of yogurt containers. You can also use milk bottles too. And then the tray is just your aluminium trays that people use at barbecues. These can be reused again and again. And then when you're finished with them, you can just put them into the recycle bin. I just picked this big bunch of zinnias. Guess where they came from? The new zinnia patch out in the front. I can't believe that it was only about 3 years ago when I first started to grow zinnias. I think the reason why it took me so long to grow them was that I found them quite intimidating. Like, they're such a spectacular bloom. You'd almost think they would be very difficult or fussy to grow, and in fact they are super easy. So if you've never given these a try before, and even if you're a new gardener, just give it a go. They really aren't as hard as you think. They love full sun. Make sure the soil is rich with compost and manures. And although I have read in a lot of books that they do not like to be transplanted, I have found if you sow the seeds in individual little cells, wait until they're about 2 inches high, and then transplant them out into the ground, they do really well. I haven't had any trouble with them. A few weeks ago, one of my friends gave me some cuttings from his garden. It's this Bana grass. It's actually a variety of Pennisetum. This clumping, fast-growing grass is used a lot in permaculture because it makes such a great mulch. I really am impressed with how quick it's grown, because look at the bottom, it's absolutely packed with roots, which probably isn't really a very good thing because now it's possibly root bound. but I'm not too concerned. I think it's pretty tough. I'll just take these out of the pots and try and figure out where to put them. I have about 10 plants. The only thing is, when I read about it, it is actually frost tender, and you know, we're coming into winter now. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. I might have to put it into somewhere in the garden that has a little microclimate where the frost doesn't affect that space, or I could just pot them into larger containers and hold on to them until next spring. And then what I'll do is, once it's well established in late spring, early summer, I'll chop some of it back, lay it across the ground, and it will really feed the soil, because this is a great source of organic matter. Wait until you see the length of this stem. This is the flower from the Celosia Kramer's rose. And I have to say, I was pretty shocked at the length of it. I ended up taking out the measuring tape because I was so curious of its measurement. It just keeps on going. It's 60 centimeters long. How crazy is that? It really reminds me of a cheerleader's baton. It just seems like such a shame to cut its long stem just so it can fit in with a regular bunch of flowers from my garden. So you know what? I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Why not? I might as well put it in the kitchen by itself up against the window. I'm back over with my zinnias again, which I'm really excited to put inside the house because I think they're really going to brighten up an area. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a safe week, and I'll see you again next Friday.